Hello everyone, Hachadino over here. With a change of time, we took a little bit of a break. So I did expect some changes to come at least to these days. Now this change was already done a little bit a while ago, changing Shuriken Storm from 45 energy to 50. Almost when it was done with Tornado, remember? So it costed 70. Now Tornado is completely different, but let's focus on the things that have happened. Now, these are the changes that were determined, but there are also the changes that were revealed. Of course, those are not here, but let me just put it very fast. There's a new talent that increases the damage, and then they also deleted the talent that wasn't working well, the Core of the Blood, because it was with Rupture, as you know. Rupture does not exist anymore with Subletly. So for Subletly, now it increases the Deathstalker's damage by 25%. And now the first thing that you see here is Black Powder damage was reduced around 9.5% and Secret Technique was buffed 8.5%. Same with the improved Secret Technique. It's now 15% instead of 20. I don't know if we will get it. And then Replicating Shadows damage on the clones is now 15 instead of 20. So let's go into it. As you can see here, for here, finality got rupture taken off from it because it doesn't exist, so might as well clean a little bit of the code. Replicating shadows is now 15%. So now every weird thing that you see here is just so it's not strange. And as you might expect, this is kind of everything that could get copies. And of course, rupture is not going to work anymore, but it's just there. And now, of course, buffing the copies themselves when we proc them from our Apex or from Tornado or Weapon Master. Now Secret Technique did get buffed a little bit, so we have like a kind of like a double buff if we actually do talent the improved Secret Technique. It's almost a 9% buff. Tornado got a little bit of an nerf because of this new talent. Now Shadow Clones will deal 15% increased damage. Chip shot and kidney shot things are not going to be important for us PvE players, but for PvP it's not bad. While you are CCing, you're also doing a little bit of damage and you also get one Shadow Technique attack. It's not bad. You go around using your two chip shots because you remember the one that has the normal cooldown and the one that you get from the talent itself. It's kind of cool. And now here, as you can see, Corrupt the Blood Rupture doesn't exist anymore, so we get some damage on the Stalker's Mark. The Stalker's Mark was already doing quite a bit of damage solidly, because remember, amps in dance and things like that. And we do have those again, remember, from quite a lot of talents. And they nerfed Darkest Night again. I don't know why, but they did. And also hammed them down once again. It used to be like 20 something percent, and now it's down to 10. This is a good change. This is weird, but well, it's a change that they have done. Lingering Darkness, nothing has changed. They just change a little bit things. And Symbolic Victory, your first Eviscerate or Black Powder is going to do more damage. Now, of course, Lingering Darkness is way better than Symbolic Victory. This is more of a talent that you get for PvP because, of course, you do want to kill people while you are in dance. You don't really care to kill people for 30 seconds after your Shadow Blades expire. And here it's not that important. Now, this is an interesting change. It actually doesn't affect us that much because with Shuriken Storm and Black Powder being so powerful, we were already using Shuriken Storm on 3 targets and Black Powder also on 3 targets. But now it's only going to be auto attacks on Sin Blades and Coup de Grace. But now it will be up to 7 enemies for 60% of normal damage. Of course, while Flawless Form is active. Activating Flawless Form is nothing super hard. You do get it from using your Secret Technique and also from popping it your Disorienting Strikes and your normal things. Now, this, as I said before, doesn't change much. you will still likely Shuriken Storm at 3 targets and also use Black Powder at 3 targets mostly, unless you are using Coup de Grace. Do remember now that Flawless forms now stack up to 5, but they refresh the whole stack instead of each stack having the independent duration. It can be a little bit better than expected if you can have a good RNG situation with 1000 cuts and you just keep refreshing that, having 20% finisher damage for a while. Not, not nothing crazy, especially in AoE where you have more energy and more things. Maybe you can even tactically spend your T charges to try and keep this going. But let's not talk about that. Now let's say, what does this change for our talents? So for single target, we are going to likely change some things. And for AoE, this is more of an AoE 3 than the single target. We will try and get 1 point of something and get the first dance. In this case, we are likely going to get Belt Touched off, pop, and get first dance. Because this is still very strong. And now for single target, we were going to play 1 point in finality or perforated veins or something like that. I did put Gormal because it's kind of funny, and it was doing almost the same damage on my tests, but we are going to likely get just Umbral Edge. And then it will be between Rotten or Potent Powder or Improved Secret Technique. Potent Powder might be something that we play on. Oh, they also changed some talents, so just have to get some points in some places. And basically with this you will get the extra damage from somewhere. Now do remember that we still don't know if improved secret technique or potent powder are things that we may play, because remember, raid fights are not super of course first dance now it's not that strong, so we have this point available kind of free. It's likely that we get the improved secret technique because it works in both AoE and single target. But who knows, maybe we even get tornado, because do remember that if there are 2 target fights or 3 target fights for things, it's never bad to get the secret technique there. Odd potent powder makes it so on 2 targets, black powder becomes a very strong finisher even while we have the nimble flurry, because remember that our normal eviscerates will not cleave now. So we would be using black powder on 2 targets. And of course, if Trickster is not that good and the Stalker is the go-to, let's say, it's going to be the same, because we are going to only eviscerate, likely, for that Dark Knight, and for other things, we are going to be using Momentum of Despair. Where it is, here it is. There we go. That will increase the critical strike chance and damage of our black powder. And this may be even with all of the damage increases and shadow damage increases and physical damage increases that we get that are general. Like for example, this is only single target, but if we get improved find weakness, potent powder, all the clone things, etc., etc., and we get some mastery, because remember, mastery is not going to be a bad stat still. We will likely get a little bit of haste, and with that haste and the one from Aracity and our own use haste trinket, and maybe some weapon enchants or some enchants that we have, that will be enough to get the dream 2 secret techniques inside of our cooldowns, and then we will get it around 20 something seconds if you are trickster, or 18 seconds or something if you are trickster, and if you are the stalker maybe you get a little bit more haste. But the stalker also gets more crit bonus damage, so we will see when simulations are but talent these thingies are not going to change a lot. We do maybe get the improved secret technique or the pattern powder or something like that. Just keep in mind that finite is super weak, Goremo is not that strong. Maybe even Rotten is not that strong either, because we have a lot of damage on our Shadow Strike, but not as much as having damage all of the time. Because even with the dance thingies that we have in beta, remember it had that bug of 2 extra seconds, and with those 2 extra seconds, we were getting a huge deal of extra duration of our dance. So Shadow Strike was doing more damage than intended, kind of, let's say. So with around 40% uptime on dance, and on those dances that we use, we get those 2 extra, 35% on our Shuriken Storms or Shadow Strikes. Maybe we do opt for just going improved secret technique or getting the tornado for more clones apart from the one from Apex. And we will see. Have a nice day, and I'll see you on the next video. I will have next likely on the weekend. I will put around single target and AoE rotation thingies again with the new talents. It's not going to change much. You just get more clones, and these clones will do more damage. Well, you actually get a little the same of the clones, because this is only damage. So not much will change. Just moving around a little bit with what does more damage or less, and we will see.